The information provided in this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute professional marketing, legal, or financial advice. Search engine optimization is a dynamic field where algorithms and best practices change frequently. The strategies discussed are based on historical trends and case studies, and potential outcomes may vary based on your specific industry, location, and competition. Viewers are strongly encouraged to conduct their own due diligence or consult with a qualified professional before making significant investments in their digital infrastructure. Your business is currently invisible to 93% of your potential customers. While you are sleeping, your competitors in the next town over are capturing every single lead, every phone call, and every digital sale because they understood one fundamental truth that you have ignored. The first page of Google is the most valuable real estate in the United States, and right now you aren't even on the map. There is a common saying in the digital marketing industry that the best place to hide a dead body is on the second page of Google search results. This is not just a joke. It is a statistical reality. Research into historical trends shows that less than 1% of searchers ever click on a result from the second page. If your American small business is not appearing in those top few spots, you are effectively locked out of the modern economy. In this comprehensive 10-part masterclass, we are going to dismantle the mystery of search engine optimization and provide you with a granular, step-by-step blueprint to reclaim your digital presence. This is not about tricks, hacks, or trying to outsmart an algorithm that has billions of dollars in development behind it. This is about understanding the fundamental physics of the internet so that your business becomes the most logical, authoritative answer to your customers' most urgent questions. The problem for most small business owners in the United States is that they have been sold a lie. You might have been told that if you simply build a beautiful website, customers will find you. This is the build it and they will come fallacy. According to extensive industry data, over 90% of all content currently indexed on the web receives zero traffic from Google. Zero. You could spend $10,000 on a sleek, modern website for your Nashville bakery or your Phoenix HVAC company. But if the underlying architecture does not communicate effectively with search engine crawlers, that website is nothing more than a digital billboard in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Today, we are going to solve that problem by shifting your perspective from seeing SEO as a technical burden to seeing it as your most powerful customer acquisition tool. By the end of this first session, you will understand exactly how the search landscape has shifted in 2026, why traditional keyword stuffing is a relic of the past, and how you can position your brand to thrive in an era of AI-driven search. To understand where we are going, we must first look at the sheer scale of what we are dealing with. Every single second, there are over 99,000 searches performed on Google. That is nearly 9 billion searches per day. For a small business owner in the US, these are not just numbers. These represent intent. When someone searches for emergency roof repair near me or best family law attorney in Chicago, they are not browsing social media for entertainment. They have a specific problem, a specific pain point, and a credit card in their hand. They are looking for a solution. SEO is the process of ensuring that you are that solution. Historically, small businesses relied on the yellow pages or local newspapers. Those mediums are gone. Today, the local search ecosystem is dominated by the Google Map Pack and organic listings. Case studies of local businesses have shown that appearing in the top 3 results of the local map pack can lead to a multi-100% increase in inbound phone calls. However, getting there requires a deep understanding of the 3 pillars of SEO: technical health, on-page relevance, and off-page authority. In this part of the masterclass, we are focusing on the foundation of relevance and the shift toward what Google calls AT: experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. In the early days of the internet, you could rank a website by simply repeating the word plumber 500 times in white text on a white background. Those days are over. Google's algorithms are now sophisticated enough to understand semantic meaning and user intent. For example, if a user searches for how to fix a leaky faucet, they have informational intent. They want a guide. If they search for 24-hour plumber near me, they have transactional intent. They want a service. A common mistake American small businesses make is trying to rank for the wrong intent. If your website only has a contact page but no educational content, you are missing out on the entire top of the funnel where customers are researching their problems. Conversely, if you have a great blog but no clear way to book an appointment, your traffic will never convert into revenue. Let us look at a case study involving a small boutique fitness studio in Austin, Texas. Historically, they struggled to compete with national gym chains. They attempted to rank for broad terms like fitness or weight loss, which are hyper-competitive and dominated by massive corporations with multi-million-dollar SEO budgets. By shifting their strategy to focus on long-tail keywords and local intent, such as boutique Pilates for beginners in South Austin, they were able to capture a smaller but much more qualified audience. Their organic traffic increased by 60% within 6 months, not because they reached more people, but because they reached the right people. This is the power of specificity. To truly master SEO, you must understand the concept of the knowledge graph. Google is no longer just a list of links. It is a discovery engine. It attempts to understand the relationships between entities. Your business is an entity. Your location is an entity. The services you provide are entities. When you optimize your site, you are essentially providing Google with a map of how these entities connect. This is why things like schema markup and structured data have become non-negotiable for small businesses. If you are a restaurant, you don't just want Google to know your name, you want it to know your menu, your hours, your price point, and your health rating. Furthermore, we must address the elephant in the room: AI in the search generative experience. As we move deeper into 2026, Google is increasingly providing answers directly on the search results page. Some call this the zero-click search. For a small business, this might seem terrifying. Why would someone click your website if AI gives them the answer? However, data suggests that for high-stakes decisions, users still seek out the source. They want to see the face of the contractor coming to their home. They want to read the reviews of the dentist they are trusting with their children's health. Your goal is to be the source that the AI cites. You do this by creating content that demonstrates real-world experience that an AI cannot replicate. Consider the historical trend of mobile search. Over 60% of searches now happen on a mobile device, and for local businesses, that number is often higher than 80%. This means your SEO strategy is inseparable from your mobile user experience. If your site takes more than 3 seconds to load on a 5G connection in downtown Atlanta, Google's data shows that the probability of a bounce increases by over 30%. Technical debt is the silent killer of small business rankings. We will dive deep into core web vitals in a later part of this series, but for now, understand that Google prioritizes the user's time. As we conclude this introductory deep dive, I want you to audit your current digital mindset. Are you treating your website as a static brochure? Or as a living, breathing employee that works 24 hours a day to answer customer questions? The potential outcomes of a successful SEO strategy are not just about more clicks. They are about lower customer acquisition costs and higher brand equity. While your competitors are burning money on expensive pay-per-click ads that stop the moment the budget runs out, an investment in organic SEO builds an asset that grows in value over time. We are just scratching the surface. In the next part of this masterclass, we are going to get under the hood and look at the technical architecture every American small business needs to ensure they are even crawlable by search engines. If you are ready to stop being invisible and start being the authority in your local market, we have a long road ahead, and every step is designed to put you ahead of the curve. To build a house that lasts for decades, you do not start by picking out the paint colors or the kitchen tiles. You start by pouring a concrete foundation that can withstand the weight of the entire structure. In the world of search engine optimization, technical SEO is that foundation. If your digital infrastructure is cracked, no amount of beautiful content or high-quality backlinks will keep your business from sinking into the abyss of page 10. To understand how to fix your technical foundation, we must first look at the 3-stage journey every single web page on the internet must take before it can ever reach a customer: crawling, indexing, and ranking. Imagine a business owner named Sarah who runs a high-end boutique pottery studio in Asheville, North Carolina. Sarah has spent 6 months building a stunning website with professional photography, but 3 weeks after launch, her site still does not appear when she searches for handcrafted pottery Asheville. This is a common and devastating scenario for American small businesses in 2026. The reason Sarah is invisible is that she has failed the first 2 stages of the journey. The first stage is crawling. Think of Google as a massive, hyper-intelligent explorer that never sleeps. This explorer uses automated programs called bots or spiders that hop from link to link across the entire web. When Sarah launched her site, she assumed Google would just know it existed. In reality, the Googlebot needs to be invited, or it needs to find a trail of breadcrumbs leading to her door. In 2026, the sheer volume of the internet is so vast that Google has to be incredibly efficient with its resources, a concept known as a crawl budget. Google will only spend a certain amount of time and energy on your site before it moves on to the next one. If your site architecture is a chaotic mess of broken links and circular redirects, The bot will get frustrated and leave before it ever finds your most important pages. Historical trends show that sites with a clean, logical XML sitemap see their new pages discovered up to 40% faster than those without. An XML sitemap is essentially a digital floor plan that you hand to the Googlebot the moment it arrives. For Sarah in Asheville, the first step is generating this sitemap and submitting it through Google's Search Console, which is the most important free tool in your SEO arsenal. Once the crawler finds your page, we move to the second stage, indexing. Finding a page is not the same as understanding it. After the bot crawls Sarah's pottery site, it takes that information back to Google's massive data centers to be processed. This is where the indexer looks at the code, the text, the images, and the metadata to decide what the page is actually about. Imagine Google's index as the world's largest library. If the indexer cannot figure out if Sarah's page is about a pottery class or a pottery sale, it will file it in the wrong drawer or worse, leave it on the floor. Case studies of underperforming small businesses frequently reveal that the primary culprit for poor indexing is a lack of structured data, also known as schema markup. This is a specific type of code that tells Google exactly what it is looking at. For a US small business, schema can identify your physical address, your phone number, your business hours, and even the price of your products in a language the machine understands perfectly. Without this, you are relying on Google to guess, and in 2026, Google prefers certainty over guesses. The third stage is ranking, where Google finally decides who gets the top spot. However, before the algorithm even considers your keywords, it looks at the technical health of your site through the lens of Core Web Vitals. These are a set of specific metrics that measure the real-world user experience of your site. Imagine a customer named Michael in Dallas who is looking for a local roofing contractor after a hailstorm. He clicks on a website from his smartphone while standing in his driveway. If that website takes 4 seconds to load, Michael is going to hit the back button. Data from 2025 and early 2026 indicates that for every 1 second of delay in mobile load time, conversion rates can drop by over 20%. Google measures this through largest contentful paint, which is how long it takes for the main content to appear. First input delay, which is how quickly the site responds to a user's click, and cumulative layout shift, which measures if the page elements jump around while loading. For an American small business, a poor score in these areas is a signal to Google that your business is not providing a quality experience, and as a result, you will be pushed down the rankings regardless of how good your roofing services are. Another critical pillar of your technical foundation is mobile-first indexing. For years, web design was approached with a desktop-first mentality, but the reality of the US market is that over 80% of local searches now happen on mobile devices. Google has pivoted entirely to mobile-first indexing, meaning it evaluates the mobile version of your site to determine your rank for everyone, even desktop users. If your website looks great on a 27-inch monitor in an office but has tiny, unclickable buttons and overlapping text on an iPhone, you are technically broken in the eyes of the search engine. You must ensure your site uses responsive design, where the layout automatically adjusts to any screen size. Historical trends in the US retail sector show that businesses that transitioned to truly mobile responsive designs saw a 30% increase in time on site and a significant boost in organic visibility within months. Beyond speed and mobile usability, you must address the issue of site security. In 2026, HTTPS is not just a recommendation, it is a requirement for trust. If a user sees a not secure warning in the corner of their Chrome browser, they will associate that lack of security with your business. Google uses the presence of an SSL certificate as a lightweight ranking signal. For a small business like a local law firm or a medical clinic, security is a non-negotiable component of your authority. Furthermore, you must eliminate technical debt such as duplicate content. Often, small business sites accidentally create multiple versions of the same page, such as a version with www and one without. This confuses the indexer, as it does not know which version is the master copy. This results in keyword cannibalization, where your own pages are competing against each other for the same spot in the search results. To truly optimize your technical SEO, you must also master the concept of internal linking and site architecture. A common mistake is the flat site structure, where every page is just one click away from the homepage with no logical organization. Instead, successful businesses use the silo method. Imagine a landscaping company in Georgia. Their website should have main silos for services like hardscaping, lawn maintenance, and irrigation. Under the hardscaping silo, they would have subpages for patios, retaining walls, and fire pits. By linking these pages together in a hierarchical way, They pass authority from the main service page down to the specific niche pages. This tells Google exactly which pages are the most important and how the topics relate to one another. Imagine if you could look under the hood of your website today and see exactly what Google sees. Are there hundreds of 404 errors from old pages you deleted years ago? Is your robots.txt file accidentally telling the search engine to stay away from your most profitable product pages? These technical errors are the silent killers of growth. Potential outcomes of fixing these issues include a sudden surge in index pages and a stabilization of your rankings during algorithm updates. We have now built the foundation and ensured that the Googlebot can find, read, and trust your site. But even the most technically perfect website is worthless if it doesn't contain the specific words and phrases your customers are actually typing into that search bar. Most people think they know their keywords, but they are usually targeting terms that are either too competitive or completely irrelevant to their bottom line. In the next part of this masterclass, we are going to dive into the psychology of search and reveal the exact process for uncovering the high-intent keywords that your competitors have completely overlooked. If you want to know what your customers are really thinking before they ever find you, you cannot afford to miss what comes next. Keyword research is not a technical exercise. It is a psychological one. When a person sits down at their computer in 2026 or speaks into their mobile device, they are expressing a need, a fear, or a desire. For an American small business owner, understanding the specific language of that expression is the difference between a thriving enterprise and a digital ghost town. Most business owners make the fatal mistake of targeting keywords they think are important, rather than the ones their customers are actually using. Imagine a shop owner in Columbus, Ohio, named David who specializes in restoring vintage European motorcycles. David spends his entire marketing budget trying to rank for the keyword motorcycles. This is a massive error. The term motorcycles is a head term. It is broad, it is dominated by multi-billion-dollar manufacturers like Honda and Harley-Davidson, and most importantly, it lacks intent. A person searching for motorcycles might be looking for a toy, a wallpaper for their phone, or a Wikipedia article on the history of internal combustion. David is competing for a term that has a high cost but provides almost no return on investment. To find the gold in your local market, you must categorize every potential search term into one of 4 intent buckets: informational, navigational, commercial, and transactional. This is the framework used by the top 1% of SEO professionals in the US. Informational intent occurs when a user is looking for an answer. For David, this might be how to clean a vintage carburetor. While this doesn't lead to an immediate sale, it builds expertise and trust. Navigational intent is when someone is looking for a specific brand or physical location, such as David's vintage cycles. Commercial intent is the research phase where a user is comparing options. They might search for best motorcycle restoration shops in Ohio. Finally, there is transactional intent, the most valuable of all. This is the user with their credit card on the table, searching for vintage BMW brake repair service near me. Historical trends in the US service sector show that while transactional keywords have lower search volumes, they often result in conversion rates 5 to 10 times higher than informational terms. The secret weapon for the American small business is the long-tail keyword. While head terms like plumber or lawyer are incredibly competitive, long-tail keywords, phrases consisting of 3 or more words, account for over 70% of all search traffic. Imagine if you are a family law attorney in suburban Chicago. Instead of fighting for the impossible keyword divorce lawyer, you target the long-tail phrase high net worth divorce attorney for business owners in Naperville. This phrase has a very specific demographic and a very specific intent. The data suggests that long-tail keywords are more likely to match the natural language processing of the AI-driven search engines of 2026. People no longer type in broken fragments. They ask full questions like, who is the best local contractor for basement waterproofing with a lifetime warranty? By aligning your website's content with these specific phrases, you bypass the massive corporations and speak directly to your neighbor's urgent needs. To begin your keyword discovery process, you must move beyond guesswork and use the tools that define the current landscape. Start with the Google Keyword Planner, a free resource within the Google Ads platform. Even if you never intend to run a paid ad, this tool provides invaluable data on search volume and competition levels. Let us walk through a step-by-step scenario for a boutique bakery in Charleston, South Carolina, owned by a woman named Maria. Maria starts by entering her seed keywords: bakery, cupcakes, and wedding cakes. The tool then generates hundreds of related ideas. Maria notices a trend in the data. A high volume of searches for gluten-free wedding cake delivery Charleston, South Carolina with low competition. This is a market gap. The big box grocery stores offer generic cakes, but they aren't optimized for that specific, high-intent long-tail phrase. A critical step that most beginners skip is the analysis of keyword difficulty, or KD. This is a metric that tells you how hard it will be to knock the current leaders off the first page. In 2026, many SEO tools use a scale from 0 to 100. If a keyword like coffee shop has a difficulty of 90, you could spend years and thousands of dollars and never reach the top 3. However, if organic roasted coffee beans for subscription in Seattle has a difficulty of 20, you can potentially see results in a matter of months. This is about choosing battles you can actually win. You must also look at the cost per click, or CPC data. While this is a metric for advertisers, it serves as a proxy for the financial value of a keyword. If businesses are willing to pay $15 for a single click on a specific phrase, it is a historical indicator that that phrase leads to high-value customers. Beyond tools, you must leverage the psychology of the search results page itself. Go to Google right now and type in your primary service. Look at the People Also Ask section. These are not random questions. They are the exact queries that Google's AI has determined are most relevant to your topic. For a HVAC company in Phoenix, the questions might be, how much does a new AC unit cost in Arizona? Or why is my AC blowing hot air in 110-degree heat? Each one of these questions is a blueprint for a blog post or a service page. If you provide the most comprehensive, clear, and helpful answer to those questions, Google has a historical tendency to reward you with a featured snippet, which is the position 0 result that appears above the very first organic link. This is the ultimate real estate for a small business because it positions you as the definitive authority before the user even begins scrolling. We must also discuss the seasonal and geographical shifts in search behavior. A landscaping business in Maine has a completely different keyword calendar than one in Florida. Using Google Trends, you can visualize when interest in certain services begins to spike. In 2026, data-driven businesses are preparing their content 3 months in advance. If you wait until the first snowfall to optimize for snow removal services, you have already lost. You should have been targeting those keywords in September. By analyzing the historical peaks in your specific US region, you can ensure your website is indexed and ready to capture the surge in intent the moment it happens. Imagine if you could see the exact search terms your competitors are using to steal your customers. There are tools that allow you to enter a competitor's URL and see every keyword they rank for. This isn't just about copying them. It is about finding their weaknesses. If a rival law firm in your city ranks for personal injury lawyer, but has no content regarding bicycle accidents or pedestrian rights, those are the niches you can exploit to gain an immediate foothold. This is how a small, agile business outmaneuvers a slow-moving incumbent. You find the cracks in their strategy and fill them with superior, more specific information. However, finding the right words is only half the battle. You can have the most profitable list of keywords in the world, but if you simply sprinkle them randomly across your site, you will be penalized for keyword stuffing, a practice that search engines in 2026 identify and punish with extreme efficiency. The art of SEO has shifted from keyword frequency to topical authority. It is no longer about how many times you say the word. It is about how thoroughly you cover the subject. This leads us to the most critical component of the entire SEO machine: content. Most small business owners find the idea of writing content to be an exhausting chore. But what if I told you there is a specific formula that allows you to turn a single keyword into a high-converting page that satisfies both the human reader and the Google algorithm? In the next part of this masterclass, we are going to break down the exact anatomy of a perfect, high-ranking page and show you how to write content that doesn't just attract visitors, but actually compels them to pick up the phone and call you. If you have the foundation and the keywords, it is time to build the attraction that keeps them coming back. Content is the bridge between a search query and a satisfied customer, but in 2026, simply having words on a page is no longer enough to win the war for the first page of Google. To understand the anatomy of a high-ranking page, imagine a business owner named Elena who operates a high-end organic pet spa in Seattle, Washington. Elena has identified her primary long-tail keyword, organic cat grooming and luxury dog spa in Seattle. She has a technically sound website, but her current service page is just a 3-paragraph description and a price list. From a search engine's perspective, this page is a thin content ghost town. It lacks the depth, structure, and signals required to prove that Elena is the leading authority in the Pacific Northwest pet care industry. To fix this, we have to look at on-page SEO as a three-dimensional puzzle involving technical markers, user experience, and semantic depth. The very first thing a potential customer sees before they even click on your website is your snippet in the search results. This is comprised of your title tag and your meta description. Think of the title tag as the neon sign outside your physical storefront. Historical trends in 2026 suggest that Google now places a premium on title tags that include the primary keyword near the beginning of the string, while remaining under 60 characters to avoid being cut off on mobile screens. For Elena, a weak title would be Elena's Pet Spa Services. A high-performance, optimized title would be Luxury Organic Cat Grooming in Seattle, Elena's Pet Spa. This tells the search engine exactly what the page is about and appeals to the specific geographic intent of the Seattle market. Below that is the meta description. While this is not a direct ranking factor in the way a keyword might be, it is your primary tool for driving click-through rate or CTR. Case studies of American service businesses show that descriptions that include a clear value proposition and a call to action, such as book your organic pet treatment online today and see why Seattle pet owners trust us, can lead to a significant increase in organic traffic without changing the ranking position. Once a user clicks through to Elena's site, the clock starts ticking. Google monitors how long a user stays on your page, a metric known as dwell time. If Elena's page is a wall of unbroken text, the user will bounce back to the search results immediately, signaling to Google that the page was not helpful. This is where the visual hierarchy of header tags becomes essential. Your H1 tag is your main headline and should only appear once on the page. It needs to confirm to the user that they are in the right place. For Elena, her H1 would be the ultimate guide to organic pet grooming in Seattle. From there, the content should be broken down into H2 and H3 subheaders. These subheaders act like a table of contents for the Googlebot. An H2 might be why organic grooming matters for your pet's health, followed by H3S like avoiding harsh chemicals and the benefits of essential oils. This structure allows the search engine to understand the topical clusters within the page, making it more likely to rank for a variety of related queries. In 2026, the concept of semantic SEO has replaced simple keyword density. You can no longer just repeat your keyword 10 times and expect to rank. Instead, Google looks for LSI or latent semantic indexing keywords, terms that are naturally related to your main topic. If you are writing about pet grooming, the algorithm expects to see words like shampoo, coat health, breeds, claws, hypoallergenic, and professional groomer. If these related terms are missing, the content feels incomplete to the AI. For Elena to build a masterclass level page, she needs to provide what is known as information gain. This means her page must offer something that the top 10 results do not already have. This could be a proprietary grooming checklist, a video tour of her facility, or a specific case study of a difficult grooming session she successfully completed. Data from the last year shows that pages providing unique, non-repetitive information have a historical trend of outranking older, more established sites that are simply regurgitating general facts. Visual content is another massive opportunity that American small businesses often ignore. Every image on Elena's site is an opportunity to rank in Google Images, which accounts for a significant portion of all web searches. However, Google cannot see an image. It can only read the text associated with it. This is why alt text is critical. Instead of naming a photo img_5432 JPG, Elena should use descriptive alt text like professional groomer using organic shampoo on a golden retriever in Seattle Spa. This provides accessibility for visually impaired users while giving the search engine more context about the page's relevance. As we look at the landscape of 2026, it is clear that the winners in SEO are those who prioritize the human experience while checking the boxes for the machine. Elena's Pet Spa doesn't just need a website. It needs a comprehensive digital resource that solves problems for Seattle pet owners. By mastering the metadata, the structural hierarchy, semantic depth, and visual optimization, she transforms a simple web page into an unstoppable ranking asset. The internet was never meant to be a collection of isolated islands. It was designed as a neural network of connections where the value of a single page is determined by the strength and quality of the links pointing toward it. In the eyes of a search engine in 2026, a backlink is more than just a clickable piece of text. It is a formal endorsement, a vote of confidence, and a transfer of authority from one entity to another. To understand how this works for an American small business, imagine a business owner named Marcus who operates a residential HVAC and air purification company in Tampa, Florida. Marcus has followed every step of our masterclass so far. His website is technically flawless, His mobile speed is lightning fast, and he has written deep, helpful articles about the specific humidity challenges facing Florida homeowners. However, when Marcus searches for HVAC repair Tampa, he is still stuck on the bottom of page 1, while a competitor with a much older, uglier website sits comfortably in the top 3 spots. The difference is authority. The competitor has been active for 15 years and has hundreds of websites, local news outlets, home improvement blogs, and trade associations, linking back to them. Marcus is currently a brilliant voice speaking in an empty room. To win, he must build a web of trust. A backlink or an inbound link occurs when website A links to website B. In the early days of the web, all links were treated equally, which led to widespread manipulation. Today, Google's AI-driven systems, such as the historical spam brain updates, are incredibly sophisticated at distinguishing between a genuine editorial endorsement and a paid or low-quality link. For Marcus, a link from the Tampa Bay Times or a nationally recognized architectural digest is worth more than 10,000 links from random, unrelated blogs in a different country. This is because of 2 primary metrics: domain authority and topical relevance. While Google does not officially use a domain authority score, third-party SEO tools use it as a proxy to measure the strength of a site's backlink profile on a scale of 1 to 100. Historical trends indicate that a link from a site with a high score acts as a powerful signal that your business is a legitimate, trustworthy player in your industry. However, authority without relevance is a hollow signal. If Marcus gets a link from a high-authority website about high-fashion photography, it will provide very little SEO value for his HVAC business. Google's 2026 algorithms look for a logical connection. When a local hardware store or a Florida real estate agency links to Marcus, it tells the search engine that Marcus is an authority within the specific niche of home services and the specific geography of Tampa. This is why small businesses should prioritize quality over quantity. 10 highly relevant, local and authoritative links will almost always outperform 1,000 low-quality directory links. To begin building this authority, you must understand the technical distinction between dofollow and nofollow links. By default, most links are dofollow, meaning they pass along SEO juice or authority to the destination site. A nofollow link, often found in social media profiles or comment sections, tells the search engine not to count that link as a vote of confidence. While nofollow links are still valuable for driving direct traffic and creating a natural-looking link profile, your primary goal for ranking is to secure dofollow links from reputable sources. The first step in a US-based link-building strategy is the acquisition of local citations. These are mentions of your business name, address, and phone number, commonly known as NAP, on local directory sites like Yelp, the Better Business Bureau, and your local Chamber of Commerce. While these may not provide the same authority as a major news feature, they are the baseline for local trust. If your NAP information is inconsistent across these platforms, perhaps you use street on one and ST on another, it creates a trust deficit. Google's algorithms may become confused about your true location, which can hinder your ability to rank in local searches. Case studies of American service businesses show that cleaning up inconsistent citations is often the fastest way to see a moderate bump in local search visibility. Once the baseline is set, we move into the realm of digital PR. In 2026, the most effective way to earn high-authority links is by providing value to journalists and bloggers. Tools like Connectively and Featured have revolutionized how small business owners can act as expert sources. Imagine if Marcus sees a query from a journalist at a major consumer electronics publication who is writing an article about the impact of smart thermostats on energy bills. Marcus, with his years of hands-on experience in Tampa, provides a detailed, data-backed response. If the journalist uses his quote and links back to his site, Marcus has just earned a high-authority backlink that he could never have bought. This is the essence of modern link building. You are not asking for a favor, you are providing a resource. Another powerful strategy is the creation of linkable assets. This involves producing content so valuable, unique, or data-rich that other people in your industry naturally want to reference it. For example, if Marcus conducts an original study on the average indoor air quality of homes in different Tampa neighborhoods and publishes a detailed report with infographics, local real estate agents and health bloggers will likely link to that report when discussing those neighborhoods. Historical trends show that original data and infographics are among the most highly linked types of content on the web. This is the skyscraper technique updated for 2026. Find a topic people are already interested in, create something significantly better or more current, and then reach out to those who have linked to inferior content to show them your new resource. We must also address the dangers of toxic links. In a desperate attempt to move up the rankings, some business owners fall into the trap of buying link packages from questionable vendors. These are often link farms, networks of sites created solely to sell links. Google's 2026 AI is exceptionally good at identifying these patterns. Potential outcomes of using these tactics include a manual penalty or, more commonly, an algorithmic devaluation where the links are simply ignored, meaning you have wasted your investment. A healthy link profile grows organically and steadily. A sudden spike of thousands of links to a brand new website is a red flag that can lead to long-term suppression in the search results. Finally, you must master the art of anchor text. This is the visible, clickable text in a hyperlink. If every single link pointing to Marcus's site uses the exact phrase "Best HVAC Tampa," it looks artificial and manipulative. A natural backlink profile includes a variety of anchor texts. Branded terms like Marcus HVAC, generic terms like click here or website, and long-tail descriptive phrases. The goal is to appear as a natural part of the internet's conversation, not a programmed anomaly. Imagine if your business became so authoritative that Google viewed you as the definitive answer for your entire region. This level of trust is not built overnight, but through the consistent acquisition of high-quality endorsements. You have the technical foundation, you have the keywords, and now you have the authority. But for a small business in the United States, there is one more layer that is often more important than everything else combined. Most of your customers aren't just looking for any business. They are looking for a business that is right around the corner. They are looking at maps, they are looking at reviews, and they are looking at a specific box that appears at the very top of the search results. In the next part of this masterclass, we are going to pivot into the hyperlocal world of the Google Business Profile. I am going to show you the secret settings and optimization tactics that can put you in the top 3 of the map pack, which is where the vast majority of local phone calls are generated. If you want to dominate your local zip code, you cannot afford to miss what is coming next. The Google Business Profile is the single most important asset for any American small business in 2026. It is no longer just a digital Yellow Pages listing. It is a high-performance interactive portal that often serves as the primary way a customer interacts with your brand. Think of a business owner named Jackson who runs a specialized classic car restoration shop in Charlotte, North Carolina. Jackson has a website, but when people in Charlotte search for classic car upholstery or vintage engine repair near me, they aren't looking at the organic blue links first. Their eyes go straight to the map pack, that rectangular box at the top of the search results that features 3 local businesses, their star ratings, and their physical distance from the user. If Jackson is not in that top 3, he is losing the majority of his local market share before a single website is even clicked. Historical trends show that the map pack captures up to 44% of all clicks on a local search result. This is the zero-click search era, where users get all the information they need: phone number, hours, and reviews, without ever leaving the Google ecosystem. To master this space, you must first understand the 3 pillars of the local search algorithm: proximity, relevance, and prominence. Proximity is the one factor you cannot change. It is simply how close your business is to the person searching. However, relevance and prominence are entirely within your control. Relevance is how well your profile matches the searcher's intent. If Jackson only lists his business as an auto repair shop, Google might not find him relevant for a specific query about 1965 Mustang parts. Prominence is how well known your business is both offline and online. This is where your reviews, links, and overall digital footprint come into play. The journey begins with claiming and verifying your profile. In 2026, the verification process has become significantly more rigorous to prevent fraud. While some businesses still receive a postcard in the mail, many are now required to perform a live video verification. Imagine Jackson standing in front of his shop in Charlotte, holding his phone, and showing the Google representative his business signage, his specialized tools, and his business license. This high level of scrutiny is actually a benefit for legitimate small businesses because it flushes out the fake listings that used to clog up the search results. Once verified, the real optimization begins with your primary and secondary categories. This is a critical decision point. Your primary category should be the most specific description of your core business. If Jackson chooses automotive repair shop as his primary, he is competing with every oil change franchise in the city. If he chooses antique car restoration service, he immediately signals to Google that he is the authority for a specific, high-value niche. He can then use secondary categories to capture broader traffic, but the primary category carries the most weight for ranking. Next, we must address the power of visual SEO. In 2026, Google uses advanced AI, known as cloud vision, to scan every photo you upload to your profile. It doesn't just see a picture. It identifies the objects, the text on the walls, and even the sentiment of the people in the image. If Jackson uploads high-resolution photos of a restored Chevy Bel Air, Google's AI identifies the car, the quality of the paint, and the professional environment of the shop. Case studies have shown that businesses with more than 100 photos on their profile receive 500% more calls than those with only a few. You should be uploading photos of your work, your team, and the exterior of your building every single week. This provides a constant stream of fresh data for the algorithm and builds immediate trust with the consumer. Then there is the engine of prominence, Google reviews. It is no longer enough to just have a high star rating. In 2026, the algorithm looks at review velocity, which is how often you get new reviews, and review diversity, which is the range of services mentioned in those reviews. Imagine if a customer leaves a review for Jackson saying, "Jackson did an incredible job on the leather interior of my 1968 Charger." The keywords leather interior and 1968 Charger are now indexed as part of Jackson's profile. When someone else in Charlotte searches for classic car leather repair, Jackson's profile is now more likely to appear because a customer has verified his expertise in that specific area. You must have a proactive strategy to ask every satisfied customer for a review, and more importantly, you must respond to every single one. Responding to reviews is a direct ranking signal. When you respond, you have another opportunity to naturally include keywords. For example, Jackson might reply, "Thank you. We loved working on the upholstery for your 1968 Charger. It was a pleasure being your choice for car restoration in Charlotte." We cannot ignore the Google Posts feature. Think of this as a mini social media feed that lives directly on your search listing. In 2026, these posts are highly transactional. You should be posting about new projects, seasonal offers, or helpful tips at least twice a week. These posts only stay active for a limited time, which signals to Google that your business is active and engaged. If Jackson posts a photo of a newly finished engine build with a button that says "Call Now," he is reducing the friction between the search and the sale. Data shows that businesses utilizing posts have a historical trend of higher engagement rates than those with stagnant profiles. Another granular detail that often separates the top 3 from the rest is the use of attributes in services. These are small tags that tell Google more about your business operations. Are you women-owned? Veteran-led? Do you offer free Wi-Fi or wheelchair-accessible parking? These might seem like minor details, but for a user filtering their search, they are the difference between appearing and being hidden. Furthermore, you must manually list every single service you offer in the services section. Do not rely on Google to pull this from your website. If Jackson lists disc brake conversions and rust repair as specific services with detailed descriptions, he is providing the algorithm with the exact data points it needs to match him with a high-intent customer. Finally, you must manage the questions and answers section. This is a public forum where anyone can ask a question about your business. A common mistake is leaving these unanswered or allowing random users to provide the answers. You should treat this like a frequently asked questions page. In fact, you can even post your own questions and answer them yourself. Jackson could post, "Do you provide free estimates for full restorations?" and then provide a professional, keyword-rich answer. This ensures that the first thing a potential customer sees is accurate information provided by the owner. Potential outcomes of a fully optimized Google business profile include a drastic reduction in your reliance on paid advertising and a steady flow of local leads that are ready to buy. You are essentially claiming your territory in the digital landscape. But while your Google business profile handles the local map, there is an entire world of organic search that happens below the map. To win there, you need to understand how to turn your website into a machine that generates trust at scale. Most businesses have a blog, but almost all of them are doing it wrong. They are writing for themselves, not for the algorithm or the customer. In the next part of this masterclass, we are going to dive into the world of content clusters and topical authority. I am going to show you how to dominate the informational searches that happen before a customer is even ready to call a professional. If you want to own the entire journey from a simple question to a closed sale, you need to see how the most successful brands in America are structuring their content in 2026. This is where you move from being a local option to being the only logical choice. Topical authority is the shift from keyword-centric thinking to subject matter mastery. In 2026, Google's algorithms, powered by the latest iterations of multimodal AI, no longer just look for a page that mentions a keyword. They look for a website that owns the entire conversation around a topic. To understand how to achieve this, imagine a business owner named Robert who runs a boutique estate planning law firm in Austin, Texas. Robert has been writing one-off blog posts for years, covering random topics like 5 tips for a will or what is a trust. Despite having 50 posts, he is not ranking for the most valuable, high-intent searches in his market. The reason is that his content is fragmented. He has a collection of isolated pages, rather than a cohesive network of knowledge. To Google, Robert looks like a hobbyist rather than a definitive legal authority in the state of Texas. To fix this, Robert needs to implement the pillar and cluster model, which is the gold standard for American small businesses aiming to dominate their niche. A pillar page is a comprehensive, high-level overview of a broad topic. It is the hub of your content wheel. For Robert, his pillar page would be the complete guide to estate planning for Texas families in 2026. This page isn't just a 1,000-word blog post. It is a 4,000-word resource that touches on every subtopic within estate planning, from probate law and living trusts to tax implications and guardianship for minors. It serves as the definitive source that answers the broadest questions. However, because it is so broad, it cannot go into granular detail on every single subtopic. That is where the cluster content or the spokes comes in. These are shorter, highly specific articles that dive deep into the narrow questions Robert's customers are asking. One spoke might be how to avoid probate for real estate in Austin, while another is the difference between a revocable and irrevocable trust under Texas law. Each of these spoke pages links back to the central pillar page, and the pillar page links out to each spoke. This internal linking structure creates a semantic map for search engine crawlers. When Google sees 20 different articles all interlinked and centered around a single authoritative pillar, it concludes that Robert's site is not just a collection of keywords, but a comprehensive knowledge base. Historical trends in the U.S. legal and financial sectors show that websites using this cluster model see a significantly higher rate of being featured in AI-generated search overviews. Because these AI systems, like the Search Generative Experience, prioritize sources that demonstrate a deep, interconnected understanding of a subject, Robert's cluster of content becomes the most logical source for the AI to cite when a user asks a complex question about Texas law. To build your own cluster, you must first audit your existing content and identify your primary service categories. Let's look at a case study of a residential landscaping and outdoor lighting company in Atlanta, Georgia. They identified their 3 pillars: sustainable landscape design, high-end outdoor lighting, and hardscape construction. For the outdoor lighting pillar, they didn't just write about how to install lights. They created a cluster of 10 articles covering topics such as the best low-voltage LED systems for humid climates, how to light a residential pool area for safety and aesthetics, and the energy-saving benefits of smart lighting timers in Georgia homes. By saturating the topic, they moved from ranking on page 4 to the top 3 for the broad term outdoor lighting Atlanta. The potential outcome of this strategy is a massive increase in topical relevance that makes it nearly impossible for a competitor with a single disconnected page to outrank you. The step-by-step process for implementing this in 2026 begins with mapping the searcher journey. Every customer moves through 3 stages: awareness, consideration, and decision. Your content cluster must address all 3. In the awareness stage, the customer in Atlanta might search for "Why are my outdoor lights flickering?" This is an informational query. You provide the answer. In the consideration stage, they search for LED versus halogen outdoor lighting costs. You provide the comparison. In the decision stage, they search for professional outdoor lighting installation in Atlanta. Because you provided the answers in the first 2 stages, you have already built the trust necessary to win the business in the final stage. Case studies of American small businesses indicate that consumers are nearly 70% more likely to buy from a brand that provided helpful, educational content during their initial research phase. Furthermore, you must address the phenomenon of content decay. Information in 2026 moves fast. A guide to tax-advantaged accounts or local zoning laws written in 2024 is likely obsolete today. Part of maintaining topical authority is the constant refreshing of your pillars. If Robert's estate planning guide still references laws from 3 years ago, his bounce rate will spike as users realize the data is old, and Google will quickly demote his authority. You should be auditing your high-traffic clusters every 6 months to ensure every statistic, every link, and every legal or technical reference is current. This signals to the algorithm that your site is a living, breathing authority that is actively maintained. Imagine if your website was so thorough that a customer never had to go back to the search results to find another answer. That is the ultimate goal of the cluster model. It isn't just about SEO, it is about user retention. When a user spends 15 minutes clicking through 4 different articles on your site, you are sending the strongest possible signal to Google that your content is high quality. This metric, known as pogo sticking, where a user clicks a result and immediately hits the back button because they didn't find what they wanted, is a primary negative ranking factor. A well-constructed cluster eliminates pogo sticking by keeping the user engaged in a continuous loop of value. As we look at the data from the US small business market in 2026, it is clear that the era of the 500-word blog post is dead. The search engines want depth. They want expertise. They want a destination, not a detour. You have the technical site, you have the keywords, you have the backlinks, and now you have the authority through content clusters. But there is a final piece of the puzzle that many business owners find the most intimidating. It is the human element. Even if you have the best content in the world, Google is looking for one more thing to verify that you are a real, trusted professional in the eyes of the public. They are looking at what people say when you aren't in the room. In the next part of this masterclass, we are going to dive into the world of user-generated content and the hidden power of social signals. I am going to show you how to leverage your customers' voices to act as a secondary search engine that validates your business every single day. If you want to know how to turn a single customer review into a permanent boost in your search rankings, you need to see the strategies we are breaking down next. The concept of user-generated content is often misunderstood as a side effect of running a good business, but in the competitive landscape of 2026, it is the most powerful fuel for your search engine rankings. To understand why what your customers say is often more important than what you say, imagine a business owner named Chloe who owns a bespoke furniture workshop called Mile High Custom Woodwork in Denver, Colorado. Chloe has spent years perfecting her craft, building incredible walnut dining tables and reclaimed oak shelving. Her website is optimized, her technical SEO is sound, and she has a strong backlink profile. However, her true growth exploded when she stopped looking at reviews as mere testimonials and started seeing them as a data-rich extension of her SEO strategy. In 2026, Google's natural language processing models have reached a level of sophistication where they don't just count 5-star ratings. They perform deep sentiment analysis and entity extraction on every single word your customers write about you. When a customer leaves a review for Chloe saying, "The live-edge walnut table Chloe built for our Denver dining room is the centerpiece of our home," Google's AI extracts several high-value data points. It identifies the entity Chloe, the product live-edge walnut table, the location Denver, and the high-sentiment phrase centerpiece of our home. This isn't just a pat on the back for Chloe. It is a confirmation of her business's relevance for anyone searching for live-edge furniture in the Colorado area. Historical trends show that businesses with reviews containing specific product or service keywords see a significantly higher potential for appearing in the top 3 of the local map pack. This is because Google trusts the unbiased voice of the consumer more than the marketing copy on a business's own website. Case studies of American small businesses indicate that reviews act as a form of secondary indexing, expanding the reach of your business to long-tail keywords you might not have even targeted. The first step in leveraging user-generated content is the strategic solicitation of reviews. Most business owners are afraid to ask, or they ask in a way that yields generic, unhelpful responses like "great service" or 5 stars. To truly move the needle, you need to guide your customers to provide the descriptive data that search engines crave. Imagine if Chloe, upon delivering a finished piece, sent a follow-up email that asked, "Could you tell us how the new walnut shelving fits into your Denver office?" By mentioning the product and the location in her prompt, she increases the likelihood that the customer will use those same keywords in their review. This is not about manipulation. It is about providing the context that helps the search engine understand the transaction. Data suggests that reviews containing more than 50 words have a 20% greater impact on search visibility than short, one-sentence blurbs. Beyond text, the visual component of user-generated content is a massive growth lever in 2026. When a customer uploads a photo of their new furniture to Chloe's Google business profile, they are providing Google with fresh, geographically tagged metadata. As we discussed earlier, Google's AI can now identify objects within images with startling accuracy. If 20 different customers upload photos of walnut tables in different homes across Denver, the search engine develops an undeniable record of Chloe's expertise in that specific niche. Historical trends in the U.S. retail sector show that listings with customer-uploaded photos receive nearly double the clicks of those with only professional owner-uploaded photos. This is the ultimate form of social proof, proving that your business is active, trusted, and providing real-world value to the local community. We must also address the impact of social signals and brand mentions. In 2026, the line between social media and search has blurred significantly. While a link from a social media post may be no-follow, the sheer volume of brand mentions across platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit contributes to your brand's prominence. Imagine if a local Denver home decor influencer tags Chloe's shop in a video. Even if there is no direct link to her website, the spike in search volume for the term mile-high custom woodwork tells Google that this business is currently relevant and popular. This surge in branded search is one of the strongest signals of authority you can achieve. Case studies have shown that businesses that trend on local social media often see a corresponding rise in their organic search rankings within days. This is because search engines prioritize entities that the public is actively discussing. Another critical element of UGC is the emergence of video reviews and their impact on dwell time. In 2026, many American consumers prefer to record a 30-second video of their experience rather than writing a paragraph. When you embed these customer videos on your service pages, you are creating a high-retention environment. If a potential customer watches a video of someone raving about their new custom table, they stay on your page longer, which reduces your bounce rate and signals to Google that your content is highly engaging. Potential outcomes of integrating video UGC include not just better rankings, but a 40% increase in conversion rates, as video builds a level of trust that static text simply cannot match. However, with the power of UGC comes the challenge of managing negative feedback. A single one-star review is not a death sentence for your SEO, provided you handle it with professional transparency. In fact, historical data shows that a profile with a 4.8-star rating often converts better than a perfect 5.0, because consumers find a mix of reviews to be more authentic. The key is your response. When you respond to a negative review, you have the opportunity to show your expertise and your commitment to customer service. Google tracks these interactions. A business that resolves issues publicly is viewed as more trustworthy and authoritative than one that ignores feedback. This is a vital component of the AT framework we established earlier. Imagine if your business could generate its own marketing content every single day without you lifting a finger. That is the reality of a business that has mastered the art of user-generated content. You are building a self-sustaining ecosystem of trust that validates your technical SEO, your keywords, and your backlinks. You are no longer just a business owner. You are the leader of a community that is actively promoting your brand to the world's most powerful search engines. But even with a mountain of reviews and a perfect website, how do you know if any of it is actually working? Many small business owners in the United States are flying blind, looking at vanity metrics like page views while ignoring the data that actually matters for their bottom line. In 2026, the tools we use to measure success have evolved from simple counters to predictive analytics suites. If you are not looking at the right numbers, you are likely leaving thousands of dollars on the table every month. In the next part of this masterclass, we are going to dive deep into the world of SEO analytics and reporting. I am going to show you the 3 specific metrics that actually correlate with revenue, and I will reveal how to spot a rankings drop before it happens so you can protect your business from the ever-changing algorithm. If you want to turn your SEO from a guessing game into a precise, data-driven machine, you cannot afford to miss the next step in this journey. Measuring your success in SEO is often where most American small business owners lose their way. You have built the site, you have researched the keywords, and you have even earned a few high-authority backlinks. But without the right data, you are essentially driving a car at night without headlights. To understand how to turn your digital presence into a measurable revenue engine, imagine a business owner named Thomas who runs a specialized kitchen remodeling company in Boston, Massachusetts. Thomas is currently experiencing what many call the vanity metric trap. His website traffic is up by 400% compared to last year, and he feels like he should be celebrating. However, when he looks at his bank account and his schedule for next month, nothing has changed. He has more visitors, but his phone isn't ringing, and his contact forms are empty. Thomas is succeeding at getting attention, but he is failing at getting business. This is because he is looking at the wrong numbers. In this 9th part of our masterclass, we are going to dive deep into the analytics and reporting structures that the top 1% of US marketing firms use to prove the value of their work. The first tool in your measurement arsenal is Google Search Console. While Google Analytics tells you what people do once they arrive at your site, Search Console tells you how they found you in the first place. This is the heartbeat of your SEO health. For Thomas in Boston, the most important section is the performance report. Here you will see 4 critical metrics: total clicks, total impressions, average click-through rate or CTR, and average position. Impressions represent how many times your website appeared in a search result for a specific query. If Thomas sees 50,000 impressions for the term kitchen remodelers Boston but only 50 clicks, his CTR is a dismal 0.1%. Historical trends in the U.S. construction and home service sectors suggest that a healthy CTR for a top 3 organic position is usually between 3 and 10%. This data tells Thomas that his problem isn't visibility. It is his search snippet. His title tags or meta descriptions aren't compelling enough to make a Boston homeowner click. By identifying this gap in Search Console, Thomas can stop guessing and start fixing the specific bottleneck preventing his growth. Once Thomas fixes his CTR and the traffic starts flowing, we shift our focus to Google Analytics 4 or GA4. In 2026, GA4 has moved away from the old session-based tracking and now focuses entirely on events and engagement. For a small business, the metric that matters most is the key event, which was formerly known as a conversion. You must set up tracking for every action that leads to revenue. This includes clicks on your phone number, submissions of your contact form, and even downloads of your kitchen planning guide. Case studies of successful local businesses show that those who track specific lead generation events are 3 times more likely to see a positive return on their marketing spend than those who only look at total page views. If Thomas sees that 80% of his traffic is landing on a blog post about 2026 kitchen tile trends but 0% of those visitors are clicking his Get a Quote button, he has a relevance problem. He is attracting researchers, not buyers. This data allows him to reallocate his efforts toward content that targets high-intent keywords like custom cabinet installation Boston, which may have less traffic but a much higher potential for conversion. To truly master your reporting, you must also understand the concept of attribution. In 2026, a customer rarely buys something the first time they see it. A homeowner in Massachusetts might find Thomas's site through an organic search for kitchen island ideas, then leave. 2 days later, they might see a post from him on social media. A week after that, they might search specifically for Thomas's company name and finally book a consultation. If Thomas only looks at the last click, he might think his SEO didn't work and that the branded search did all the heavy lifting. However, the data-driven attribution models in modern analytics allow you to see the entire journey. You can see that the initial organic search was the spark that started the fire. By understanding these multi-touch pathways, you can justify your long-term investment in SEO, even when the direct, immediate conversion numbers look lower than your paid ads. One of the most critical skills for a U.S. small business owner is the ability to spot a ranking drop before it becomes a catastrophe. In the world of search, small fluctuations are normal. This is often called the Google dance. However, a sharp, sustained decline in impressions usually indicates one of 2 things: a technical failure or an algorithmic update. Imagine if Thomas's traffic drops by 60% overnight. By checking Search Console, he can see if his pages are still being indexed. If he sees a sudden spike in 404 errors or a security warning, he knows he has a technical crisis to fix. If the technical health is perfect but the rankings are still falling, he is likely being impacted by a core algorithm update. Historical trends show that Google frequently updates its systems to prioritize different quality signals. In 2026, these updates often focus on the depth of helpful content and the verification of the author's expertise. By looking at which specific pages lost their rankings, Thomas can determine if his content needs to be refreshed with more current data, or if he needs to strengthen his AT signals. Beyond the free tools provided by Google, you should also utilize third-party rank tracking software to monitor your competitors. SEO is a zero-sum game. For you to move up, someone else must move down. If a new competitor enters the Boston market and starts aggressively building local backlinks and posting daily updates to their Google business profile, you will see your average position start to slip. High-performance reporting includes a competitive gap analysis. This allows you to see exactly which keywords your competitors are ranking for that you are missing. For Thomas, this might reveal that his rivals are capturing all the traffic for luxury outdoor kitchens, a niche he hasn't even mentioned on his site. Potential outcomes of this data-driven approach include the discovery of new revenue streams that your competitors haven't fully exploited yet. Finally, you must learn to ignore the noise. The internet is full of vanity metrics that feel good but mean nothing. For example, your social media followers or the total number of pages on your site do not directly correlate with your search rankings or your revenue. You should build a simple monthly dashboard that focuses on 3 vital signs: organic lead volume, organic revenue, and keyword reach in the top 3 positions. If these 3 numbers are moving up, your strategy is working. If they are stagnant while your traffic is rising, you have a conversion problem. If they are falling while your traffic is stable, you have a lead quality problem. This level of clarity is what separates the businesses that survive from the ones that dominate their local markets in the United States. Imagine if you could look at a single report every Monday morning and know exactly where your next 10 customers are coming from. That is the power of a mature SEO measurement strategy. You are no longer guessing. You are operating with the precision of a surgeon. We have covered the foundation, the keywords, the content, the authority, the local map, and the data. You now have the complete blueprint for SEO success in 2026. But as we stand on the threshold of the future, the landscape is changing faster than ever. The rise of generative AI and voice-activated search is fundamentally altering how people interact with the internet. If you stop here, everything you have learned today might be obsolete in 12 months. In the final 10th part of this masterclass, we are going to look into the future. I am going to show you how to AI-proof your business and how to position yourself to be the first choice for customers using the next generation of search technology. If you want to ensure that your business remains at the top of the mountain for years to come, you need to see what the future of search truly looks like. The future of search is no longer about a list of 10 blue links. It is about the transformation of Google from a search engine into an answer engine. As we navigate through 2026, the traditional boundaries of SEO have dissolved. To understand the magnitude of this shift, imagine a business owner named Isabella who operates a specialty rare plant nursery in Portland, Oregon. Isabella has mastered the basics we have covered so far, but she is now facing a new reality where users are asking their smartphones complex, multi-layered questions like, which of these 3 tropical plants in my living room needs the most humidity? And where is the closest shop in Portland that sells specialized soil for them? This is the world of multimodal and generative search. In this final part of our masterclass, we are going to look at how Isabella and your American small business can thrive in an era where AI doesn't just find information, but synthesizes it. The most significant historical trend of 2025 and 2026 has been the integration of Search Generative Experience, or SGE, into the primary Google interface. For a small business like Isabella's, this means that for many high-intent queries, an AI-generated summary appears at the very top of the page, pushing even the top organic results further down. To the untrained eye, this looks like the end of SEO. However, for those who understand the mechanics of retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, this is an opportunity for unprecedented visibility. When the AI generates an answer, it cites its sources. These citations are the new page 1. Case studies of U.S. retailers show that being featured as a cited source in an AI overview can lead to a higher quality of traffic than traditional rankings, because the user has already been educated by the AI before they even click your link. To become a cited source, Isabella must focus on information gain. This is a patent-backed concept where Google prioritizes content that provides new, unique information that isn't already present in its database. If Isabella publishes original research on the growth rates of rare philodendrons in Pacific Northwest climates, she is providing information gain that an AI model cannot simply hallucinate or scrape from generic Wikipedia entries. This leads us to the evolution of AT, where the first E, experience, has become the most critical factor. In a world where anyone can use AI to generate a 1,000-word blog post in seconds, the internet is being flooded with generic, low-value content. Google's response in 2026 is to prioritize content that proves real-world, hands-on experience. For Isabella, this means her content shouldn't just explain how to repot a plant. It should show her actually doing it in her Portland nursery, featuring her own original photography and perhaps a short video clip. Historical data indicates that content containing first-person narratives and unique visual evidence has a much higher potential outcome of ranking in the age of AI than sanitized, third-party information. You must prove to the algorithm that you are a human being who has actually touched the products or performed the services you are describing. We must also prepare for the explosion of voice and conversational search. In 2026, a significant portion of local searches in the United States are performed through smart speakers or hands-free devices while people are driving or cooking. These queries are naturally longer and more conversational. A user won't search for Florist Portland. They will ask, Who is the best florist near me that is open now and has sustainable packaging? This is why your keyword strategy must shift toward natural language processing. You need to structure your website's FAQ sections and service descriptions to mirror how people actually talk. By using schema markup, specifically the speakable property, you can tell search engines exactly which parts of your content are best suited for voice responses. Imagine if Isabella's website is the one that the Google Assistant reads aloud when a customer asks for plant care advice in the middle of a gardening project. That level of brand integration is the ultimate goal of modern SEO. Furthermore, we are seeing the rise of visual search through tools like Google Lens. In 2026, customers often take a photo of an item they see in a window or at a friend's house and use that image as their search query. For a US small business, this means your image SEO is no longer optional. Isabella needs to ensure that every rare plant in her shop is photographed from multiple angles with high-quality, high-resolution images. She must use descriptive file names, descriptive alt text, and most importantly, product schema that includes price, availability, and merchant details. When a user in Portland snaps a photo of a rare leaf in Google Lens immediately identifies it and shows that Isabella has it in stock 2 miles away, the path from discovery to sale is instantaneous. We also need to discuss the role of video SEO as a core pillar of your 2026 strategy. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, and in the current US landscape, YouTube videos are more integrated into Google's main search results than ever before. If Isabella creates a series of short, 60-second videos answering common plant questions, those videos will often appear in the video carousels on the first page of Google. The key is to optimize the video transcripts. Google's AI now listens to the audio of your videos to understand the context. By clearly speaking your keywords and providing a detailed, time-stamped description, you allow your video content to act as a secondary search engine that captures users who prefer visual learning over reading. To maintain your success in the years to come, you must adopt a philosophy of technical resilience. Search algorithms will continue to change, but the core mission of Google remains the same: to deliver the most helpful, relevant, and trustworthy information to the user. Potential outcomes of a resilient strategy include a website that not only survives algorithm updates but gains strength from them. This requires a commitment to constant auditing. You should be looking at your Search Console data every week, not just to see your rankings, but to see how your CTR is evolving as the search results page changes its layout. You must be willing to pivot your content strategy if you see that AI overviews are starting to answer your informational queries directly. In those cases, you move deeper into the funnel, creating content that is so specific and so expert-driven that an AI cannot replicate it. Imagine Isabella's nursery 5 years from now. Because she followed this 10-part masterclass, she doesn't just have a website. She has a digital ecosystem. Her Google business profile is a hub of 5-star reviews and customer photos. Her website is a high-authority pillar of plant knowledge. Her videos are the go-to resource for enthusiasts across the country. She has built an asset that works for her while she is in the greenhouse, generating leads and sales through the power of organic search. This is the potential reality for every American small business owner who is willing to do the work that their competitors are too lazy to do. You now have the complete blueprint. From the first pour of the technical foundation to the cutting-edge strategies of AI-driven search, you have the knowledge to dominate your local market. But knowledge without action is just trivia. The digital landscape of 2026 waits for no one. The competitors who start today will own the real estate of tomorrow. You have the tools to be the authority, the expert, and the first choice for your customers. The only question left is whether you will take the first step and begin the process of claiming your place at the top of the search results. If you found this masterclass helpful, and you are ready to take your business to the next level, we have a specialized resource designed specifically for the 2026 market. We have compiled a deep dive checklist that covers every technical and content requirement we discussed in this series, along with a monthly update tracker to keep you ahead of the next major algorithm shift. Accessing this resource is the next logical step in your journey to becoming a digital powerhouse in your industry. The map to success has been laid out. It is time for you to walk the path.